do this. It's good. Got a SCOBY. My dear YouTube friends, thank you for being patient with me. Today's video, I'm going to give you a almost 3-year update on my business. The last video I posted was May of 2022, recorded in April of 2022. Haven't posted anything since because I've been working on the business and just living life. This video is a short update of everything that's happened with the business since then. I could probably go on for hours and hours with all the details of everything that's happened, but this one's just kind of short to get you guys caught up, but to get me back into the groove of putting out YouTube videos. And I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. Right now, I just want to hop right into it. So I'm going to try and do this in the best chronological order that I can. So hopefully I'm not jumping and skipping around a lot. It's good to see everyone. I do want to say thank you for all the messages I've gotten over the years. I've gotten some very encouraging messages that I really appreciate. They were very heartfelt, and it's encouraged me to keep going with YouTube. I do want to get back on here. It's just getting back into the flow. For some reason, recording videos really stresses me out, but for now, it's good to see you. So, last video was recorded April of 2022. That day, I was going to walk into my local co-op store to talk to them about selling my kombucha. So that's where we left off. That day, I did walk into the co-op and I talked to the president, the head of the board, and they were like, I don't know if it'll sell. We'll give it a try. We'll put it on our shelves. We're doing a sampling day coming up if you'd like to try. So I brought in some samples. Everyone loved it. Within like 2 weeks, my kombucha was on their shelf. So that's the first person that bought our kombucha. Actually, the second. I have a friend that has a vegan bakery in the state next to me, which is like 20 minutes, who started selling it. But the food co-op was our first wholesale account. So from there, now the co-op store isn't actually open. If you know anything about co-ops, it can take quite a while to get a store open, sometimes 10 or 15 years. So while their actual store wasn't open, they were able to find space during COVID to provide to the community local food, which is what co-ops do, right? It's all local. It's a local community thing. So the store is only open 2 days a week. So on those 2 days a week, I would come in and do sampling. It was an old restaurant or a brewing building. So they had a bar set up. So I'd sit there and give people samples to get them interested in my kombucha. From there, I posted something on a local Facebook group. One of the local restaurants reached out to me. By the way, I live in a great community, about selling my kombucha at their restaurant because they like to support local people. So that was our third wholesale account. So this is all the spring, summer. So through the summer, we ended up with 3 wholesale customers. The co-op invited me to come and help with samples, and then they invited me to attend the farmers market with them, which was huge. Near the end of the year, near Christmas, I did a couple events. One was at a brewery in a couple towns over, and it was such a fun time. I posted on Instagram, used some tags. Those tags do still work. And one of the other local farmers markets in my area reached out to me about joining their market. As far as the brewing process, I started out as a limited food establishment in Pennsylvania. That's where that noise you hear is my dog playing with a fart toy. Sorry about that. We have a puppy. And don't worry, he's already been out 3 times today, and I'm taking him for a long walk after I shoot this video. As far as our production, I started out as a limited food establishment in Pennsylvania that allows you to produce food in your home. There's some stipulations. You can't have any pets. That's one of them. So the kids can't be in the house, so I'd have to do it when they were at school, or my husband would take them out. We started off using 16-ounce cans. So I had a canning machine. That didn't work out too well, so I sold the canning machine, and then we started using bottles, which are similar to this, but we've upgraded bottles since then, which I'll talk about. I used 2-gallon glass jars, and I had 6 of them. I was on a 2-week brewing rotation, so every 2 weeks I would flavor and then start new tanks or jars. In September of 2022, my husband got laid off, which we were kind of expecting because he worked in the mortgage industry, and that's a very up and down, very volatile market, and things were calming down from COVID, so we were kind of expecting it. So that was a big thing, a little scary without that income. And at that time, we also switched to 8-gallon stainless steel tanks, which I'll throw up some pictures and videos here, and that made brewing so much easier. So much easier. Love stainless steel. Okay, now we're into 2023. In the winter, we started selling at some more wholesale accounts. I started my first farmer's market on my own, so with my own tent that said Kombucha Bliss in February. And it was I'll have to do another video about farmers markets altogether, probably a lot of videos. But that market was in February. It was kind of snowing, cloudy, so cold. It was in the 20s. We did not dress properly. And before the 2-hour market even started, I looked at my husband, who's always hot, right? He's always sweating. He was shaking. He was so cold. It was a tough 2 hours, but it was great. People were very supportive. So it was quite an experience. Started my next farmer's market on my own in March of 2023. By the end of May, we were now in 4 different farmers markets, attending every other week. In July, I added one more market, which is considered a high-producing market, where there's a lot more people that come out. And we picked up another wholesale account. So by this time, we had about 5 wholesale accounts. Some were local, like farm stores, some were restaurants. In May of 2023, we moved into a commercial kitchen space, which is a shared space. We took out 80 square foot of space. Rent was around $700, so we got lucky with that, because taking out our own space would have been a couple thousand, plus we would have had to get all the fixings in it. And when we moved into our shared space, we purchased 18 8-gallon tanks. So we were really moving some booch by this point. It was stressful because we didn't have like a set process. We didn't really sit down and plan how things were going to be, because we didn't know how they were going to be. So we didn't know what we had to switch around. So there were late nights and very early mornings and times where we had to go produce that we didn't really want to go, because life was pretty hectic. So 2023 was pretty crazy. 2024 was great because we got more organized. So winter of 2024, we attended winter markets. So there are a lot of farmers markets that quit or end around Thanksgiving. In my area, most of the markets stay open, and then they just reduce the hours and times. So instead of every week, they'll go down to twice a month, and instead of 4 hours, they'll go down to 2 hours. Some of the markets, which are closer to the city, I'm in the Philadelphia area, will still remain the same amount of hours. So we attended the winter markets. We added 2 Philly markets, dropped 2 of our other markets, it was hard to do because the people were great, but the sales weren't. So it was hard making that decision because of that, because of the people, but we had to do what was right for the business and for our time. We added another co-op food store that we sold to. We dropped 2 wholesale accounts, so these were restaurants, and my husband started working farmers markets as well on Saturday. So the beginning of 2024, so through this time we've had some investors come to us wanting to help. So we did end up taking out a business loan in 2024, and at that time in January we upgraded our space from 80 square feet to 180 square feet. So we have more space. We purchased 2 large double-door commercial refrigerators, and the big purchase was 3 80-gallon stainless steel tanks, which has been so huge in the production, making it so much easier. And I'll do another video all about our production. Let me write a note. Maybe I'll do a history of our production, what it looked like, because I have plenty of video that I never used. So hopefully I'll get to use that. So for the 3 80-gallon tanks, one is used for our starter tea and housing SCOBY, and the other 2 are for production. So once the two 80-gallon tanks are done, we move them over to our 18 8-gallon tanks. That's where we flavor. Then in June of 2024, we took out more space for the max that we can take out in the building we're in, for 230 square feet. We picked up some more markets before the end of 2024. Another huge thing that happened is we switched our bottles. So these are the bottles we use now with these they're called breakaway caps, and these bottles are made specifically for kombucha. They hold the carbonation in a lot better, and it makes our life easier. Our old bottles, which I'll show you a picture of, we had to put plastic, the plastic seals, I forget what they're called, tamper evidence seals on, which, believe it or not, took a lot of time. It was very time consuming. So we're saving hours by using these other bottles. So here it is, 2025. We are still hand filling our bottles. Our production is, we do the two tanks together. We start them, we transfer them when they're done to the 18-gallon stainless steel tanks. And then we have 2 days where we basically pour kombucha nonstop. So it's a little intense, but then we have a couple weeks off where we're not doing that. We're just handling our markets or making deliveries. So 2025, this is where we're at. We are in 8 farmers markets. We're picking up 4 more in the summer. 2 of the ones we attend stop in the winter. So we'll be picking up 4 more. We serve to 2 restaurants. One of the restaurants gets bottles and kegs, so they have it on tap. And we are at 3 farm stores / co-ops. We are not planning on picking up any more wholesale accounts unless they want to do kegs, so maybe restaurants, bars. And we plan on hiring probably around 3 or 4 people to help out with markets. Usually the best farmers markets are on Saturdays, so it makes sense to hire some local people that want to make some money, work a couple hours. But the growth has been huge, I mean explosive in the past couple of years. Everyone loves the product. The thing that's surprised me the most that I love is the farmers markets. It is so much fun being out there, talking to people, seeing people's reactions, people posting you on Instagram. It's a lot of fun. I have definitely enjoyed getting to know the area I live in. There's a lot of things, places I wasn't even aware of. I planned on doing this video in September, and I recorded this video, but something was wrong with the audio. So then I recorded it again in October, and that time the audio didn't work at all. So instead of using my Canon M50 camera, I'm now using my phone, which is fine, because done is better than perfect, right? Getting the video out is better than perfect. And I really want to get back into this. And how can I get better and not be so stressed out when I go to record is just by recording more. Usually I would put on a better shirt. I'm just wearing one of my sweatshirts, which is just my pretty normal look. Don't usually have this much makeup on, but I want to look nice for the camera. That's it for today. It's so good to see everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any questions or if there's any specifics about the business that you would like to learn more about. I'm planning on going and doing a tour since the building's pretty empty now. A lot of people take off in January. We're still going at it, even though production's a lot less, right? A cold drink on a cold, snowy winter day. Thank you for watching, guys. It's so good to see you, and I'll see you in the next video.